Hi, I'm Kelly. Hi, I'm Kelly. Hi, I'm Kelly from kellyjjewellery. Welcome to my YouTube videos where I'll be sharing free tutorials and interesting wire wrapping techniques. I'd really love it if you'd hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments below if there's any techniques you would like me to cover. And thanks everybody. I'll see you there. Hi, I'm Kelly from Kelly Jones Jewellery. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make these cute earrings. I've put a list in the description below of everything you'll need to make these, including all my usual links. We've got Facebook, Instagram and Etsy, where I sell all my written tutorials. To make these earrings you'll need 0.8mm wire, which is 20 gauge, and I've cut 10 lengths at 7 inches, which is 18 centimetres. You'll need 0.315mm weaving wire, which is 28 gauge, and you can go a step up or down on any of these gauges. I've wound mine onto a bobbin. This is a Bobeeze bobbin by Beadsmith, so if you don't have one of those, don't worry, you could just cut lengths as you go, but I do highly recommend getting your hands on one of those if you haven't already, because they're really, really useful. I don't know how I coped before I got one of those anyway. So you're going to need 2 jump rings, 2 ear wires and 6 of these little seed beads. They're 2mm. My jump rings are about 12 millimeters on the outside measurement, but that's made with 1.5mm wire, so that's 14 gauge. You can use any size you want, but I recommend going for a slightly larger jump ring this week. And I think that's everything. Let's get started. So cut your wires to the lengths that I have and take 5 of your base wires. That's the 20 gauge, the 0.8mm. And we're going to start about 1.5 inches from the beginning of the wires. So that's about 4 centimetres. So we're going to weave across all of the wires. If you want to do a different weave, then go ahead. This is just to hold all the wires together, and it will work as the backing for this new design. So take your weaving wire and wrap 3 times around the bottom wire. We'll go once around the bottom 2 wires, and then bring the wire up between those 2 wires, and we'll do that all the way up. So go around the next 2 wires and come up between those 2. Then go around the next 2 wires, come up between those 2, over the top. So when you get to the top, I've come up between the top 2 wires, we then go around the top wire. Then we've got to come up between the 3rd and 4th wires, and we're going to wrap around the 4th wire. Then we're going to wrap around the 3rd wire, so you come up between the 2nd and the 3rd. So we're going around each wire on the way back down. Come up between the bottom 2, go around the 2nd wire, and then under the bottom and around the bottom wire. So that's 1 repeat of our weave. As I say, this weave is just to hold all the wires together. Whoops. So you can swap it for a different weave if you want to. So I'll just go over that once more. We go around 2 on the way up. And then on the way back down, we go around each wire, all the way back down to the bottom. And then you must keep pressing your wires together as you go. I like to use nylon pliers. You can use your fingers if you want to. So keep repeating that weave. So I've done 16 repeats of that weave. It's crazy snoring already. So I'm going to cut the wire from the beginning. So this is going to be our blank canvas. This is going to be our background to this design. So we're doing a weave that just holds all the wires together and it doesn't draw the attention away from what we're about to do with the front wires. We need to finish the weave, so wrap 3 times around a single wire. So make sure all your weaves all pushed together and it's all nice and tidy. And we'll cut that and flatten down the end. So going back to the beginning and looking at the beginning of the weave, we're looking at these wires. Now they're supposed to be 1.5 inches, but I think mine have slid along a little. So take your jump ring, put your wires through the jump ring. And we're going to bend all the wires over, so we're going to bend the whole weave where the wires are at the end there to go around that jump ring. And then take the end wires out. So the end wires are going to attach to the ring, and the others I'm just going to bend over. So they need to come over flat so they haven't twisted. And I'm going to squash them down a bit. Jumping keeps moving. So they've come right down flat over that jumping there. There you can see it. So take the outer wires. This little join could be a nightmare, so I'm going to keep it at the top where I can see it. If we put it underneath, it may come undone and then we won't know. So I'll keep it at the top. Take your outer wires and bring them around, and we'll secure onto that jump ring, and we'll do that for the other side as well. So bring it around. It all needs to be nice and flat, and it keeps twisting a little bit. Pull it all the way around, nice and tight. So I've squeezed that again from here to get it all nice and flat and nicely pressed around the ring. Looking at the back, I'm going to cut these wires so they finish at the back. And these wires here, I'm going to take over and around the ring, and then I'm just going to stop there. So I'm going to cut them all. Then I'm going to use my round pliers just to pull them around the ring. I'm just going to squeeze them flat against squeeze them around the jump ring. It's so hard to show you and see what I'm doing at the same time. So I've secured the end of the weave to the jump ring. There you can see where I cut the wires and just wrap them around. And I've secured it with the end wires around, and then you have to pull your weave back up because that slid away a little bit, but that's exactly how I wanted it to look. And now we're going to put some detail across the front, but because we're doing earrings, it's best to do 2 at the same time. So grab your other wires and then do the same weave and attach them to your other jump ring the same way. So we need 2 the same if you're going to be doing earrings. So if your weave has slidden along the wires while you're working and you want to pull it back, instead of pulling the weave all the way along, it's easier to take your pliers and pull each wire one at a time through the weave until the wires are back where they should be, and you've got the 1.5 inches at the beginning of the weave. Does that make sense? So you should now have two the same. So take your pliers and we're going to grip across the bottom of the weave, and we're going to bend these wires up and over the front, all of them in a straight line, and then I'm going to squeeze them flat so they are against the weave. And everything we do to one, we do to the other one. Really make sure that your weave is all compressed together to keep it nice and tidy, and then bend the wires on the other one. So we're going to take these two right hand wires and take your weaving wire, and we're just going to add coils to that bottom wire. So keep wrapping around and around that bottom wire. Oops. And slide that right the way down to the bottom there. And what we're going to do is curl them both over, both of those two right hand wires over to the right. And you need your coils to come to that top edge there. So luckily I've done the right amount. And then go across the two wires. So you're tying them together. Then come up between those two wires. So we're just around the top wire now. And the way we're going to shape it is the bottom wire comes down, and that's just going to make a little curl there, and we'll cut that off. And the top wire is going to come up and around and do a little shape there. So we want this wire to secure to the weave. So we want to go around the weave. Is it best to go around the back? I'll go around the back. So go around the back of the weave and then bring it across the front of the weave. So I've gone underneath all the other wires. And I want that to come down quite low. It's hard to see it amongst the weave. And then bring it across the front there and pull it tight to the wire, and pull the wire up so it's all very tight. And then we'll go a few times around that wire, and it just holds it all in place against the weave. Cut that weaving wire. Cut the weaving wire, and then we'll cut both of these base wires. And we need to cut this wire as well from the beginning. And with your weaving wires all need to be flattened down. Where's that one gone? We won't curl these just yet because we need to match the other one up. So we need to do the same to the other one. So take your other one, and because we're going to do a mirror image because they're earrings, we need to take the two left wires. Take your weaving wire and we'll add coils to this very left outer wire. Slide the coils down. curve both of the wires out. I've got a few too many coils there. Then we wrap around the 2 wires. That's Gracie making all the noise. So we go around 2 wires and then come up between the 2. Much easier to do on the other one. And then we're going to go around, bring it around this side behind those wires. It's hard to see where it is, and it does slide up a little bit. And my tools keep getting stuck up my sleeves. So now I've just realised how quiet I've been talking, and I'm sorry about that. So then we go around the top wire, and we go around it a couple of times just to secure that on there. Cut your weaving wires, top and bottom. And we need to cut these wires too. So the bottom one comes down and the top one goes up. We need to match them up so they're quite short. And now I'm going to curl those wires with round nose pliers and try and get them the same length. So I'm going to do a little curl at the top and at the bottom. So far so good, we've got mirror images. So next we're going to take the next inner wire. So we're going to curve this wire around so it meets at the top of the curl. So you want to grip the wire about this distance from the top curl, and we're going to bend it. Now you're going to pull the wire away a little so we can work our shape here, and then we'll bend it back. So this wire, I'm going to put a proper bend into it to the point where I'm going to squeeze the tip into a point. And if you just squeeze in little movements, so I'm doing lots of little tiny squeezes, it won't suddenly flip. If you squeeze it really hard, if you just squeeze, it'll flip and you'll end up with it sideways. So do it in lots of little tiny movements. Does that make sense? Okay, so pick it back up. And we're going to pull it apart. And then take your round nose pliers. I'm just pulling it apart a bit more to wriggle the pliers in there. And then I'm going to bend the wire around the pliers, and at the same time I'm going to bend, turning the whole thing to the side so that the other side of the wire goes around the pliers too. So if you can see there, we're making a nice little shape, and they both go around the pliers. So while it's in this position and we've got this shape, that's when I'm going to add my little bead, because if you don't do it now, it's going to be really fiddly to try and get in there later. So take a short piece of weaving wire. So take a small piece of weaving wire, and we're going to wrap around the one side of this little shape here. And this is third time lucky for me because I keep breaking my wire. We're going to go around the little shape 3 times on the one side, then slide a little bead along there so the bead sits inside the shape. And we're then going to attach that to the other side. I'm going to go around the back so the bead can sit nicely. And then I'm going to wrap 3 times around this side, of the wire of the shape. So I've attached to that side, and I'm going to attach it to the weave, but I think we should finish off this wire first. So give it a little bit of length. So where the wires cross, I'm going to give it just a little bit of length and cut that wire. And then take your round nose pliers, and I'm going to curl that wire quite tightly. So it sits like that. And then I'm going to take this wire, let's add the bead on, and I'm going to attach it down. So I've tipped it over to the right a little so it leans over the side, and then I'm going to take that wire through the loop and then continue to wrap around here so that I'm strapping it to the loop, the little curl there. So then I'll cut that wire at both ends. So I went a few times around the curl and then a few times around the little flower, and I'll cut it from the other side too. Then I'll flatten those ends. I think we need to catch up with the other one, and we need to do that little flower on that side. So bend that wire over, and as it just goes past the shape there, that's where we're going to bend it. I'm going to bend it fully over and then gently squeeze it into that peak we had before. Lift it away a little, open it up, round nose pliers in there, and then you want to bend the wire around the round nose and twist it so you're bending the original wire too, and you end up with that little shape. You need to try and match up your shapes if you can, they're not going to be the same. To pull it open a little bit more. And then pop your bead in there, so cut a little bit of weaving wire. If you just wrap your weaving wire, oops, around this part, I didn't see that you could do that before. So we're just wrapping around the base. a few times, and then we can slide that up. Slide your bead on. And then we need to wrap around this side a few times. Then I'm going to attach it down to that top curl and then wrap a couple of times around that wire. Oh wait, but before we strap it down, we want to cut it off and shape it. So I'm going to just push these wires up because I want them quite high. So I'm going to cut this wire, so sort of this far after where the wires cross. And we're going to twist that wire really tight. Really tight, so using the very tip of the pliers, and hold it all in place as you bring it around a little bit further. Just have to adjust it a little bit to go underneath the bead. And then that has to be strapped down too, so I need to push it flat to that loop there at the top. So cut off all your little weaving wire ends and flatten them down with your pliers, and that's what we've got so far. That looks quite pretty. So now hold at the bottom here, and we're just going to curve the wires over to that side. So I've separated the wires a little, so I've got this shape, so they're nice and even up the body of it there. And then holding this, I'm going to take that furthest outer wire, hold it really tight, and take it around the back. We need to match that up with the other one. So bring those wires around evenly. So take your time getting the shape, then we'll separate the wires. Please mention me at Kelly Jones Design when sharing your finished work made from my tutorials online. Please don't show images of the back, as it gives the design away. And thanks to everybody in advance for doing that, I really appreciate it. Even though this is a free YouTube tutorial, I do get a little from the YouTube ads, so I would prefer you sent people here rather than give the design away showing the back. Does that make sense? So I'm bent that around and I'm just trying to match up those so they kind of go across at the same height. I do feel like a robot keeps saying don't show pictures of the back, but it really is important to me to send people here instead of, because people can copy their designs when they can see the back of the work. Right, I've pinched it with my pliers and it's sitting a lot better now, so I'm happy with that one. That one weren't quite right. So I'm actually going to finish off this wire here. So again, holding it down, I'm going to bend it over the front of the weave, because if we can pinch that there, if I can show you, We can pinch that around the edge there. We can cut that off, and that will be hidden behind the wires, hopefully. Just kind of finishes it off and holds it in place. So give it a pinch on this side, trying not to mark your wire, and then give it a pinch on that side and cut it off, and I'll do that for the other one as well. So now we'll finish off this last wire. They're both looking pretty much the same. They're looking quite cute actually. So we need to finish off this last wire. We're not going to need as many little beads as I first said, which is good because I've lost quite a few of mine. So you're only going to need 4, because we're only going to have 4 flowers. So this one is now going to scoop around to the other side like this. We're sort of aiming for that top corner there. We're going to put a nice big flowery shape on this side. So you need to guess where the end's going to be. So I think it's going to come just over the edge there, though I did guess it a bit short last time. So we'll go just over the edge of the weave there, and then pinch the wire. I'm going to go a little bit further just in case, and we're going to bend the wire into that sharp bend again. So we're doing the same shape as we did before. Pull it away a little and then squeeze that into shape. It's so hard for me to do it behind the camera and show you. So squeeze that into shape now at the end there. Try and remember how far you went before you bent it as well, so that we can match up the other one. So as soon as you've squashed it, we can open that shape back up again. Get the round nose pliers in there. And then bend it around the pliers. I'm going to have a bigger shape this time, so I'm going to push more of the pliers through. Make like a slightly bigger shape to fill that top portion of the space we have left there. So now we're going to attach the bead. It's best to do it at this point, really. In fact, let's take the other one and shape this one to match up the shape, so we can get them the same shape. So we need to curl over to the other side, sort of aimed for the corner, I think I did. So it came to me in a dream, this design did. I woke up, I had a notepad next to the bed and I drew it down quickly. And I've never made anything like this before, and I was so pleased. I've got a whole page full of designs of what I'm going to give you over the next few weeks. So then we're going to grip the wire. I left it after, and then I gave it a little bit more just in case. And then trying not to misshape the rest of it too much, we're going to bend that right the way down. Oh, I've gone round the back. So we need to pull it away a little bit and then squeeze that one down. So shape it around your pliers, your round nose pliers, and we'll try and match the shape with that side. Quite different, aren't they, to what I usually do? So now we'll add the little beads. I think my one is sitting a bit higher. Yep, so we'll add the little beads now. So cut yourself off a short piece of weaving wire, and we're going to wrap a few times around the base. I say the base wire, it's like the bottom of the shape. And then we can slide that up. Then pop the bead on and wrap 3 times around this side of the shape. And then before we secure it down, because we need to attach this to the weave at the back there, we need to finish off this wire. So we'll just move those wires out of the way. So we're going to cut this, because we want that little curl like from before. I want it quite nice and dinky. Cut it quite short. And I want to match up the other one, so don't curl it just yet, because we need to match up the length of that wire. So then attach the bead to this one. So before I cut this wire, I think it needs to be a little bit smaller because it's a bit bigger than that one. And then I'm going to cut it, I think it was just after, about there. So we'll curl those and shape them in, and then we'll attach to the shape. So take your round nose pliers. So we're going to curl it around really small and really tight. And do that for the other one too. So I finished off those with those little curls. Now we need to attach it to the weave. So press it right down. We're going to go around. How are we going to attach this? We need something to attach it to. So if I post it underneath, and go around, I could go around the wire on this side. So I hope you can see what I'm doing. So I've taken that wire around the back of the weave, and then I'm bringing it around. I've gone under the wire on this side. Just go around that again, so I've definitely gone around it. It will hold it down, but I'm going to take it back across the back, and I'm going to go around, because they're earrings, you don't want anything coming away. I'm going to go around and through the little shape at the other side of the bead. If you haven't got the space, just go around where you can, because this one ended up quite open at the end, so I can get the wire through. If yours is quite closed, you could go around a bit further down, but do whatever's available to you. If we can strap it down in 2 places, then that makes it nice and secure. And then whatever you've done to this one, do the same to the other one. And we'll cut off all those ends, flatten down all the little bits. So on the other one, I've taken the wire across the back and I've gone around this side of the flower a few times. I've had to lift that middle loop up to be able to get around the wire, so I'll push that back down now. Then I take it back around the back, and I'm going to go around the little flower on this side just above the bead there a few times just to finish that wire. So that's what we have. Now we have to add the little ear wires. I used power wire for my ear wires because they are like a silver plated with the rose gold colour, and I thought that would go nice with the copper. So I'm just going to pop those on there, but I think I'm going to run and oxidise them first, and then I'll come back and pop the ear wires on and I can show you what they look like. So there we have them finished. I've oxidised mine. If you'd like to oxidise yours, I did a video on oxidising and aftercare. I'll put a link in the description below. Well, I hope you found this tutorial easy to follow, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now. Bye. So thanks for watching another one of my videos. Please subscribe and hit the notification icon if you want to be notified of new videos that I do. Please like and comment on this video and let me know what you thought. If you want to see my written tutorials, they're over on Etsy. You'll find the link below. There might even be a link on the screen. And I will see you all in the next video. This is Gracie, if you didn't know. See you in the next one. Bye.